This is the Evo Crossmember Skid plate, which I will be installing today on the Jeep, because as I've started playing more in the rocks and all that stuff, I've found that I need a little bit more of under armor. So that's going to be what I'm going to be doing today. For the installation of the Evo Transmission Crossmember Skid plate, we're going to need a couple of tools. For this installation, you're going to need one 21 millimeter socket for the control arm bolt and an 18 millimeter socket for the rest of the bolts on the transmission and transfer case skid plates. First thing you're going to remove is the transmission skid plate, is that bar some of your Jeeps might have in the front, and that's two 18 millimeter socket bolts that you're going to be removing. You're also going to be removing the two bolts on the gas tank skid plate, as well as you're going to be removing the two bolts on the front of the transfer case skid plate, as well as loosen but not remove the back two on the transfer case skid plate, so that it can come down. We don't want it off, we want it to come down so that we can accommodate the skid plate at a further time. Those jobs that you can do solo, but if there's someone else to help you, it'll go a lot easier. If you are doing it on your own, as I was doing it, you might want to take time like I did and do the gas tank skid plate bolts at the same time that you move to the other side, so that you don't have to start going back and forth with these. As you can see, I was almost only using simple hand tools as I'm working at the parking structure of my apartment complex. And obviously I don't have power tools. It's something that I will be getting in the future, and I really want, but I don't have them. So this project I was tackling with just hand tools, and that is something that you know, a lot of you guys, if you want to do it, if you want to start tackling these type of projects, it's just, you know, nice tips to keep in mind, because you don't want to loosen those bolts and then go to the other side and then find out you got to go back and loosen the other ones. Stated before, now that you have the two gas tank skid plate bolts out, while you're on that side, you might want to loosen up the rear bolt for the transfer case skid. Just loosen it up so that you can have some up and down play on the transfer case skid plate, as you will be positioning the crossmember skid plate on top of the transfer case skid plate, and this transfer case skid plate will be bolted back to the crossmember, but under the new skid plate. I also took the opportunity while I was working on this to take a wire brush and repaint some of the welding on the sliders that I had installed previous. As I've been wheeling and some of it has been scratched and rust has formed. So it's always good maintenance to, you know, while you're there, and if you have a chance, just run a wire brush through the rust just to clean it up, and then use a little bit of Rust-Oleum to, you know, keep it in good order. as with the passenger side, remember on your driver's side to loosen the rear bolt of the transfer case skid plate so that it'll be able to come down and it'll be easier for us to accommodate the crossmember skid plate. Depending on how you wheel, and if you're like me that likes to wade water quite a lot, you might find some of these bolts a little bit, tight and hard to take out. And just so you can avoid breaking them, a little bit of WD-40 goes a long way. So for the control arm bolt, you're going to need that 21mm socket, and you're also going to need either a wrench or some sort of tool to get the nut on the other side so that you can loosen it. It is very important that you do this step, as the transfer case skid plate rests on that control arm bolt. The bolt will not be removed, just the nut that is on the inner side of the control arm, so that you can place the skid plate, and then with the bolt you will secure that skid plate to the control arm mount. Next up, we're going to be bringing in the transfer kit, the new Evo transfer kit crossmember skid plate into place. Obviously, for time and effect, I cut a little bit of where I went and brought some more cardboard to put it on the floor. This skid plate is going to get scratched up on, while wheeling and all that stuff, but still, I don't want to scratch it up, installing it. Call it some OCD thing. So as you can see, just bringing some extra cardboard so I can place it in and accommodate it so that I can install it up in the cross member area. This is around the time you start wishing you had somebody else to assist you, but if you're doing it on your own like I am, make sure that you place the skid plate over the gas tank skid plate, as well as the skid plate for the transfer case. So you will have the benefit that it's going to be resting on those two while you're accommodating it. It's very important that you have the control arm bolt go in through the hole on the skid plate. Make sure that is probably the most important bolt, but just take one like the transmission cross member bolt. That's one that'll be closer, and just put it in just so you can have the skid plate position where you need it. Take some of those bolts and hook them up to the threads on the cross member and on the gas tank so that you can accommodate them just as you're seeing me do. But remember, don't tighten those all the way until you have that bolt for the control arm in there and you can get it working. Now that you're finished, all you need to do is to tighten those bolts on the bottom of the skid plate to 80 foot-pounds and the control arm bolt to 125 foot-pounds, and you're done. You're ready to play on the rocks with your new skid plate. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch the video, and I hope that it proves helpful for you in the future if you decide to do this install. Thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, and share.